It is Friday, May 24th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by our friends over at Factor. We got the Factor Question of the Week coming up at the end of the show. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Tommy along for the ride as well, as we get y'all set for Memorial Day weekend. In fact, we will not have a show on Monday, so we got a lot to cover as we get you ready for a big national holiday. Got anything fun planned?
I do. I'm going down to Manhattan Beach, a little south of LA, spending some time barbecuing, doing the family thing. Also, I will be traveling back and forth to Teddy's baseball tournament.
Nice.
So a lot of driving, a lot of family time, a lot of baseball. That's what I do, man.
I know. I love it. I, too, will be around the grand old game as well, but not watching my kids play. I'll be watching my favorite baseball team, the Cleveland Guardians, who make their way out west to Anaheim. We'll go down, say hello. We're going to the game on Saturday, so go give Stephen Vogt a big hug. Tell him what a great job he's done so far. But from the Rob Thompson school, not too great. We know what the goal is ahead of you.
Do you know what they're hitting with runners in scoring position? Just go look at the stats compared to the rest of the league. It's why they are who they are.
Okay. That sounds like, this is something that won't live the entire season. So I'm just waiting for.
I didn't say that.
That's exactly. You just gave me a wink. I saw that.
Bullpen's good too. Defense is good.
Yeah, I know.
Stephen Vogt.
Yeah, okay. Can't wait. Start off with a tip of the cap. Now, Paul Skeens, he was this close to his first home victory, except then the Pirates bullpen got in the way again. They ended up losing to the San Francisco Giants. However, he is a big winner. Not only with what he's doing on the mound, but how he's getting a new generation of Pirates fans into the game, right? You had a bunch of kids at the game, even though it was the middle of the day. One kid dressed up in full Skeens regalia, mustache included, and got interviewed during the game. Let's just say the kid was a real hit.
Okay, good, but I have to ask you, what's your favorite thing about Mr. Paul Skeens? His mustache and Livy Dunn.
Good for that kid. I like that. He said that with some umph too, didn't he?
He went right at and Livy Dunn. I told you, didn't I tell you when Livy Dunn was part of the equation that this was this sport's equivalent to Kelsey and Tay-Tay? Not on that big a scale, but the equivalent to it.
So here's where my mind goes. Do I finally, after all these years, not have the hottest wife in baseball? I still think I do. My opinion is yes, but I think I'm getting challenged a little bit.
Well, first of all, they're not married. Number two,
you know what I mean?
Bite your tongue. You don't even think of that. You just say, hey, listen, it must be nice. He's climbing up the ladder.
No,
but
in my mind, no. I mean, Olivia is a goddess. I'm going
to start.
Livia, like what's going on now?
I'm going to start to just talk about the show so I can get your foot out of your mouth. You stop that right now.
What do you mean?
So I put the show to bed pretty early last night. I was like, nothing's going to happen in the Orioles-White Sox game that we're going to have to talk about. And then I saw the end of the game and how it exploded on social media. Here's the deal. O's had an 8-2 lead. White Sox cut the deficit to 8-6. Tying runners on base, 1 out. Pop up in the infield. Okay, infield fly rule, still got a chance. Until the umpires get together and say the game's over. That's because Andrew Vaughn, who was standing on second, is called for interference as Gunnar Henderson worked his way into the middle of the diamond to catch the infield fly. Afterward, Adrian Johnson, the crew chief, said, hey, listen, doesn't matter about intent. If we think that he is getting in the way and interfering with a fielder's ability to field the ball, we're going to call it every time. Did you have a problem? Oh, look at you. You got a hand on head. What's going on?
Yeah, I have a problem with it, okay? Like, there's a ton of rules that, like, literally never get called. Literally. Just doesn't happen, okay? Like, this is one example where, like, if umpires want to stay in the game and be umpires, like, you have to have some feel. How many times do you hear me say, have some feel? Infield fly rule, okay? Batters out. Gunnar Henderson catches that with ease. I understand what the rule says, okay? But when you're out there and you see the situation and there's context and you see the whole thing go in front of you, you can't make that call. And I don't, and like them defending it afterwards, like, this is the rule, you know, intentional or not. What's Andrew Vaughn supposed to do? Like, Gunnar Henderson's looking up at the ball. Andrew Vaughn is going back to second base. Like, there's a little bit of a brush, but Gunnar Henderson is camped under that ball for how long? 3 seconds? Makes the catch with ease. Again, infield fly. Doesn't even matter if he makes the catch. And you're going to call the game out. You're going to call the game over, excuse me. Game is over because you made that call. You don't give Lee a chance to get up there. By the way, Corey Lee's a stud, and he's been really good for the White Sox. Like, I feel like White Sox fans are like, hey, we got a chance here. Benintendi and Lee, this is going to be good for us. And then all of a sudden it gets taken away from you. I just think that the lack of feel that we've been seeing from umpires this year has been incredibly bad. Jimmy just put out the breakdown of Ben, what's his name, who threw out somebody in the Marlins dugout, didn't even know who he threw out. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is so stupid. And it feels like that guy, the second base umpire, like maybe like, was he like reading the rule book the night before and was like, oh, this is a rule, and like just remembered it in that moment? Like, what are we doing? Why was that on the forefront of your mind? I got to insert myself in this game and call not only an infield fly, but now Andrew Vaughn is out too. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe it was called. I don't care what the rule says. In life, there is feel, and they have zero of it this year. The umpires do.
It's the equivalent of pulling somebody over when they go 37 in a 35. That's really what it is. I mean,
35 and a half in a 35. It is unbelievable, Chris.
Like, technically, are you speeding? Yes. Is it going to affect how everybody else lives their life? Not really. And that's the thing. Like, if interference hadn't been called, would any of us have said, man, that looked like interference?
No.
Not one baseball fan would have been like, man, they really missed an interference call there. I imagine there's plenty of times you've played in the infield, whether it was shortstop or third base, and you had guys come a lot closer to you and interfere with you way, way more egregiously than that.
This is why I say that, okay? If you're playing shortstop and the runner runs in front of you and like hops over the ball, is that not interference? It's hindering me from fielding that ball.
Good call.
We don't call that.
Right.
Like, I mean, go every single baseball game. Essentially, you can call this rule if you wanted to, because and is it up for interpretation? Because if it's up for interpretation, which it sounds like it pretty much is, right? You interpreted it wrong. Like, they fucked it up, Chris. Like, bottom line, they did.
Well, so Coburn in our chat says, then be mad about the rules, not the officials.
I am. I'm mad about the rules and the fact that they can't interpret the rules the correct way. Don't give me that. This guy's siding with the umpire here?
What he's saying is that the rule might suck. And that's what Pedro Grifol said. He did say last night that they got it right. I'm angry at the rule.
No, because not everything is black and white, okay? You can't have a rule that says, well, this. You can't go over every single instance. So there's the rule, and then it's up for the umpires to interpret the rule the correct way with context, and they can't do it because for some reason this year they felt like inserting themselves in the game more than any other year in the history of baseball. I'm not on that. I'm sorry. I get the rule might be black and white, so it's stupid, but like, it's because it's supposed to be up for interpretation with context.
Well, this isn't the only sport where umpiring or refereeing has been front and center. I mean, the NBA, it's been all over the place, certainly throughout the playoffs. I think it's a couple reasons. Number one, the games in terms of the respective sports have never been better on television or streaming service. It's just the cameras are so good. We have every angle covered. We have the ability to slow things down so crystal clearly that we can see everything. And so they've never been more under a microscope than that. And then also social media. If this had happened 15 years ago, there wouldn't have been a platform for fans who were watching a game to say, hey, I can't believe this happened. And then it continues to snowball. So as great in some instances as social media is in terms of bringing people together and things of that nature, it has made it more difficult. Wouldn't you agree?
Sure. This still would have been run on Sports Center or whatever, you know, this would have been talked about because it ended the game.
No, you're right. And to me, it was somewhat ironic because it came on the day where Rob Manfred came out and talked a little bit about umpiring and how the automated strike zone is not going to be in play in 2025. And people asked, well, what about the umpiring this year? Like, are they ever put under kind of stringent guidelines? He said at least twice a year, they are reviewed throughout the season. And then if it's not good, They get docked by not getting postseason assignments, and that takes money out of their pocket. Is that explanation by Rob Manfred good enough for you, or do we need to have? Yeah, you're shaking your head.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And the ironic thing about all of this, Chris, the ironic thing about all this is kind of why I think we can't ever let umpires as humans leave the game. Because we're talking about it, man. Like, and it's crazy because I hate it. Like, I hate what happened last night, but here we are talking about it. We're talking about the game of baseball. And like, the human element of it does resonate with me. Even though, like, if it goes against your team, you're going to hate it. But it also, if it goes with your team, you're going to love it. Like, there's that duality of it. So I'm in a pickle here because I can't stand what happened last night. But I also truly believe that the interactions between umpires and managers and them doing stupid stuff like this, it gets the game talked about more. And essentially it's part of the game. It's like I'm in this. What is it? Catch 22?
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Basically, I can't quit you, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to say one last point, and then we got to move on. Would you prefer it? Because we always know when players aren't playing well and they get sent down, right? I mean, we know about that. It's all public. It never happens secretly. Would you like it if baseball came out and said such and such an umpire or crew is now not available to participate in the postseason because they haven't been good enough?
Oh, like just come out and say it instead of like behind closed doors saying they got docked enough points to not do. I don't know. Who cares?
You don't care. Okay.
No.
I mean, you just told me yesterday you were yelling at me about transparency. That's as transparent as we
Sure.
get.
I would like it, I guess, but I wouldn't think too much about it because I'd be like, yeah, that guy shouldn't be in the postseason.
Okay.
And all the way they do that, I don't know, man. That's a whole club, and they ride for each other like crazy.
They do. To me, it's really bizarre that one of the umpires' jobs is to spend a week up in New York as the replay officials. Like, that's part of their gig. Like, it really needs to be a fresh set of eyes. That's
they also
not
get like 2 weeks off during the year, just whenever they want. I don't know.
Well, hold on. That one I'll back. Those people, they don't ever have home games. That is a brutal travel. It's a brutal travel schedule.
They make a lot of money, and they have the job security of what? A Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, but
you're gonna have there's some give and take there, Chris.
They're supposedly the best at what they do in a profession, so they should be treated as such. If they're
with job security and the amount of money they make, those guys are all making well into the six figures.
I know, but it's not an easy job. It's not. Not everybody can do it. I don't think. All right, this is another discussion. Can we talk about what could be a fun weekend series? East meets West. Yankees will travel to San Diego. You got Juan Soto returning to Petco, where he spent a few seasons before the offseason trade. You got a red-hot Aaron Judge. You got a red-hotter Luis Ariz as well. Is that the biggest story? What is the biggest story? What are you watching this weekend?
Well, okay. Well, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, we're watching two of, the best hitters of our generation, like back to back. I think that's awesome anytime that you can watch that. Go check it out. I mean, right now, Aaron Judge 1.027, Juan Soto 9.72. It's the duo is unbelievable. So I'm watching that, but also both these teams, there's only 6 teams. I just learned about this on Talking Baseball. There's only 6 teams in the league that have winning records against clubs that are over 500, and 2 of them are the Padres and the Yankees. So something's going to give here. I'm curious to see, like, San Diego's been playing better lately. Like, are they going to continue it against a tough team with the Yankees? The whole series is appetizing to me. I'm still curious to see like what San Diego does at second base. I know they've done Ariz, they've done Cronenworth. Like what's the magic potion going to be there? I'm on the Padres, dude. So like I want to see the Padres go and give the business to the Yankees. That's what I'm hoping for. Not because I want to see the Yankees lose, but because I think the Padres can be that team. So I just think it's going to be a great series all around.
And also, Yu Darvish gets the ball for San Diego tonight. 25 consecutive scoreless innings. Guys,
that's a lot.
He's been unbelievable. And to go against, 2 of the best hitters in baseball and 2 of the hottest hitters will be great to see. as far as a rise, I didn't know until yesterday how ridiculous he has been over the last several weeks.
Oh yeah.
He's hitting well over 400 since being acquired from Miami, but it's more than that. Back-to-back 4-hit games, 20 knocks in his last 38 at-bats, 8 straight multi-hit games. That's insane. And there was, the fun stuff with social media where we compare players. They compared him through the same number of games to Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn. Now, Rise, I believe, is a year older, but through the same number of games, their numbers are pretty similar. But let me play historian just a little bit since I saw Tony Gwynn's entire career. As far as the type of player, there really is no comparison. Tony Gwynn, first of all, is one of the great bat-on-ball guys, and a Rise is that for today's game, which I appreciate. We talked yesterday or a couple days ago, whatever it was, about we don't know where to put a Rise because defensively he's a mess. Tony Gwynn was a gold glove right fielder and could really run in his younger days. Really, really run. So he was a complete baseball player. Luis Arraez, magician. He's a wizard up there inside the batter's box. That's where I'm going to keep him. I'm not going to do anything else with him.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, it's just 8 straight multi-hit games. Plouffe.
I think he went 10 for 14 in the series against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like imagine getting 10 hits and 14 at bats.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I'll be watching those two guys. I'll be watching Arraez and I'll be watching Yu Darvish and how he's able to weave through, particularly that first inning, to see if he can keep the energy high. Oh, whoa. Hear that?
Nope.
You got your phone on?
I do not.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to check and see. Oh, no, that's not me. We got some crackling. So if we got somebody behind the scenes who's got their phone not on airplane mode, let's hook it. All right. Braves, a 3-0 win in Chicago. It was their 5th shutout in the last 14 games. By the end of the season, will Atlanta's pitching steal the headlines from its highly threatening but maybe a little underperforming offense this season?
Oh, this is a weird question for me to answer. I don't really know how to answer it.
So
I'll
you didn't
say
like
yeah.
the question.
No, not really, but it's okay. I'm gonna go for it right here. Okay. The answer for me is no. I think that Atlanta's hitting will be the calling card again. Right now, for starters, they're 6th in the league with a 3.33 ERA. So they've been doing well. We know about Max Fried and how he's been throwing the ball. We know about Chris Sale and how he's been throwing the ball. And then we always say, hey, man, they need to get it going, which they do. Offensively, they haven't hit that stride, especially last year. They were just crazy, like basically first in every category in the big leagues when it comes to team hitting. This year, as bad as they've been, quote unquote, they're still 7th in the league in OPS, and they haven't really hit in their stride. I was trying to butter knife it, Chris. I was trying to go like 2 weeks, May, like where have they been? And
Right.
They just kind of haven't been there yet. But it's coming, people. I think by the end of the year, we'll still say, hey, like they kind of do everything well, like they're a complete roster, but the lineup, the depth of that lineup, by the end of the year, I think will supersede anything else that they do as a team.
Yeah, I mean, Ronald Acuna hasn't done anything. Austin Riley started to get somewhere, and then we haven't seen him because of a little bit of an injury issue. Matt Olson has started to creep up. He's improved his OPS by about 60 points over the last couple of weeks. It still isn't what we saw last year. I don't expect him, obviously, every year to hit 50 homers, but he's a key guy in the middle of that lineup. So I do expect them to do very well. Now, at the same time, if you had told me that this pitching staff would be able to do what it's done without Spencer Strider, I'd be like, damn, it is impressive. Because I think we all wondered, okay, are they going to have to make some move? Because we don't know if the young guys at the back end, and we don't know if Ronaldo Lopez is going to be able to do it the entire year. I mean, he has been a godsend in the starting rotation. I think we still are kind of curious to see if he can handle the full allotment of innings that they're going to need from him. And if at some point they start skipping some of his starts and give some other, I don't know how that's going to play out. But yes, the pitching has been surprising, but it will not supersede the hitting.
We did a draft of like off-season moves, best off-season moves, and I don't know, the graphic's got to be coming out soon because that was last week or Wednesday of this week, excuse me. And I put that, I piggybacked him. I put them together, Lopez and Sale, like those are magical moves by Anthopoulos right there to go out and get both those guys and to have the foresight to say, okay, like Chris Sale still got it. He's going to be fine. Ronaldo Lopez, we can stretch him out. Like, I don't know many teams that would have thought that. And these guys have been the backbone of their starting rotation.
Yeah, it's worked out for two pitchers in particular, Ronaldo Lopez and Jordan Hicks out in San Francisco, where both those guys have been huge for
Seth Lugo too.
Rotations. Yeah, but Seth Lugo was a starter last year.
He's been back and forth between, yes.
He has done it, but last year in San Diego, he was in the rotation. As far as Sale, to me, the most amazing thing is that Anthopoulos got Boston to basically pay for the entire contract, and here he is right near the top of the Cy Young standings. Quick reminder, take care of your family members. You know, it's important to give them the proper nutrition, to make sure that the food that they're eating, they like. You know, I mean, there's nothing worse than having one of your kids look up at you and say, "What the hell is this?" And that includes your dog, right? You got to quit the kibble. You got to kick the gooey cans to the side and feed your dog something that is actually, well, like food. And that's where our friends at the Farmer's Dog lend a helping paw. It's developed with vets, made from real meat and veggies, perfectly portioned for your dog, and delivered right to your door. It's so simple. Just hop onto their website, farmersdog.com. You fill out a questionnaire. It takes less than 5 minutes. It talks about the age of your dog, the breed of your dog, how much your dog usually eats, how much it exercises, all that sort of stuff. And boom, they will send to you these frozen packs of food. As I said, they're pre-portioned.
Sounds so good.
That's perfect, dude. My dog gets so excited. Sydney knows when the food is coming. Like, I don't know how she smells it through the door and through the gate. She's able to do it, though. So it comes in, and she goes ape shit. She goes nuts because it's here. She knows it's for her. It actually says her name.
She goes dog shit.
Well, no, that's different. That's different. Work with me, brother.
That's a joke, people.
Says Sydney. So you pop it in the freezer. You don't think about it until you need it about 24 hours in advance. You put it in the fridge, and it'll thaw out. And it's so good. It's so healthy for them. It helps with their coat, their skin, their energy level, their breath. It makes for better poops. Wow. That is a big-time deal. So it improves their diet on top of everything else. And it works for older dogs like Sydney. We think she's 12 or 13. We rescued her. We don't know how old she is. It works for dogs that are just out of the litter as well. So help keep your dog healthy and playing ball with half off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/today. Plus, you get free shipping, which is a big deal because it's the big box. Head on over to thefarmersdog.com/today for half off. Because at the end of the day, who doesn't love it when their puppy looks up and says, "Rah-rah-roo, Ratty. Rah-rah-roo."
Golly. I can't believe you.
What? Okay. Craig Counsell, back in Milwaukee on Monday. Guy grew up in Wisconsin, led the Brewers to unprecedented division titles. But now he is left. He went and got $40 million from the arch rival Chicago Cubs. What will and what should be the Brewers fans' response?
I was trying to think about this because the Brewers they're feeling great about themselves. They don't need Craig Counsell. So is it more reason to boo, or do you feel like fine with the move so you cheer? Because what does it matter? Like, let's cheer the guy for what he did in Milwaukee. We don't care that he left, so let's cheer him. I'm going back and forth. I think it should be like a mixed bag, which is probably what will happen. I feel like it's not going to be like, he's not going to get a standing ovation. There's no way, right? There's no way you leave on your own accord, essentially.
Mm-hmm. He was a
and
free
you get
agent.
And you get a standing ovation. There's no way, right? But he also shouldn't get booed either. So I think we really are going to see like a few people stand and cheer for him. I think we're going to see a few people stand and boo for him, and I think that's probably the correct reaction for a fan base.
So intern Tommy,
I can't wait to hear what you're going to say.
Intern Tommy is from Milwaukee. He is a very bright young guy who goes to school out in Southern California.
He's handsome too.
He said, "I have decided I will be booing for what it's worth." Now, intern Tommy's what, 20, 21 years old, whatever it is. You don't remember the difficult days of the Milwaukee Brewers. Before Craig Counsell became the manager, I believe in 2015, this organization had never been to the playoffs in consecutive years. Ever. And he did it many times in a row. He took you to the NLCS. He took you to the cusp of getting to the World Series. And you know what? I don't think Brewers fans, some would be pissed if he had left somewhere for $40 million. But the fact that it's the arch rival Chicago Cubs, that's what sets it over the edge. So boo. Go ahead and boo. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm not going to criticize you for booing and hating and all that sort of stuff. Not going to do it.
I don't know. Whatever. There is the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
They did a poll about how they're going to react, and there was over 1,000 respondents, and more than half indicated they will not see themselves ever forgiving Craig Counsell for signing with the Cubs.
Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I know I got into it.
Think like
what?
I need to think about like something that I really, really know. If Ron Gardenhire all of a sudden went to who's the Twins rival? Even we don't even really have one. If he went to the Tigers, which he did, and he came back, they cheered him. They didn't boo him, but he also got fired.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference between getting fired or traded in the case of a player and leaving just via free agency for big money. There's a big difference. Now, Pat Murphy, who was the bench coach for Craig Counsell and actually managed him at Notre Dame. He's been in his life for an awfully long time. I had him on the Rose rotation a few weeks ago, and I asked him about Counsell's return to Milwaukee.
I'll bet you they give him an ovation before this thing's over this year. I really do. I mean, this kid is true blue. This is real. Craig Counsell loves Milwaukee. I mean, he's so into it. It's unbelievable. His whole family is. So, I think people will see the reality of it, but
too close
we'll try to beat their ass when we're playing.
That's a great end. That's such a Murph ending right there, but he's too close to the situation. Most Milwaukee fans don't know Counsell like that.
Yeah. I do think it's the whole part of the Cubs. I think that's a big deal. You don't?
No, I do for sure. That means something.
Okay. Before we head out of here for our extended weekend, and once again, no show on Monday, we're going to spend a little extra time with our families. Hopefully everybody understands and respects that, and we'll see you back on Tuesday. It is time for our Factor Meals question of the week. Head on over to factormeals.com/baseball50. If you use that code, you're going to get half off your first box, plus 20% off your next month, as long as subscriptions last and are active. Once again, great job by everybody who helped us out with the questions. This is a great one. Did you laugh?
Is it?
It's from Polar Bell 123. My question's a little weird, but how are you guys so comfortable with adjusting or fixing their junk in front of 40,000 people? Not a dude, so I just don't get it, but I'm so curious.
I think she answered her own question right there. She's not a dude. She doesn't have dude parts, so she just doesn't get it. I mean, there are just times where, like, you're wearing a cup. Most people are wearing cups, or you have most people. I think almost every single player probably has sliding shorts on, like compression shorts, and like, you don't need your thing running up your leg or sticking to your leg. It's just uncomfortable. So the only thing you can really do is move it yourself. I don't know what else to say.
Well,
this was the best question we had.
I thought it was funny.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to, anytime.
Can you answer the question? Like, what do you do when you get a little sweat stick to your leg? What do you do?
I mean, I
move it.
I try to run to the nearest shower. That's what I try to do. That's what I've got,
So interesting. Like, guys do. All right, let's just get into it. If you want to ask this question, then we're going to get into it. I wasn't going to. Okay.
We're here.
Guys do a lot of different things to make sure that doesn't happen. Baby powder is a huge one. I was never, ever a baby powder guy. I did not like it. But if you'll see guys stand up and they just go here and they baby powder everywhere, right?
Wow.
And it keeps it dry. But I found that it was like almost uncomfortable how dry it got. So what I would do is I would take like a Vaseline-ish type material and I would put it on the inside parts of my legs. That way, there's no chafing going on. Chafing is the number one thing you just can't have. When it's all sweaty and all of a sudden you're chafed, It ain't good. And like back in the day, my thighs were big. They're rubbing together and like just didn't have a lot of room for things down there. So I just needed some a little
Lubricant.
grease to make it, a little lubricant to make things move around there. That's what I would do. But people would do different things.
Chafing is different than Andrew Chafin, by the way. Did you ever play with an infielder who did not wear a cup? Because obviously, Adrian Beltre's story is very famous. Juan Uribe, did not wear one, and he got nailed by a ball, I want to say, when he was playing with Cleveland in Anaheim, and it was amazing. Like, the coverage of it was hilarious. And somebody asked him, why don't you wear a cup? And he said, because I couldn't find one that big.
I've heard many stories about Juan Uribe and why he couldn't find a cup that big. Yeah.
Guys are not – if you're an infielder and you don't wear a cup –
they trust their hands.
Most
I wear a cup. I wear a cup everywhere. In high school, I wore it when I pitched. I wore it everywhere. Yeah. I think outfielders don't wear cups because you could dive and then it hits that. But as an infielder, I feel like, man. I mean, if there's one place you could do it, it's the big leagues because the fields are so good.
And pitchers don't wear cups for the most part, right?
I think it's a case-by-case scenario. I always felt like it was part of my uniform. So I always put it on.
I remember that David Price, we found out he wore a cup because do you remember the line drive he took when he was in Tampa and it ricocheted right off of the cup? And
there's all sorts of cups too. Want to get into this? There's like hard cups, there's soft cups. What they really started doing was the cups nowadays are probably softer than they've ever have been, but it's like a hard middle and then the sides are like gel so they kind of move and didn't create just like an irritating effect. So we're really getting into this, but it is a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, too much talk south of the equator. All right, that's that. Everybody have an amazing Memorial Day weekend. Please be safe. If you're going to go out and party, fine.
Yes.
Take public transportation. Make sure a friend is taking care of you. We want you to go have good time, live it up, but we want you back with us on Tuesday. So on behalf of our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, intern Tommy, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. You have been watching Baseball Today, presented to you by Factor.